Surprise, gamers! A new Everdell was announced, and it has pirates in it. Yeah. That is, there's a nautical theme, and your meep floats along in a ship. And by the way, I checked, and the base game meeps fit into the boats just fine. That means I get to bring Team Turtle along. Yeah. We just love turtles, don't we, Mooney?
We sure do, Captain.
Aye, there be plenty of adventure and treasure to be found here in Everdell FarShore. I mean, just look at this little lizard pirate. Now, if you've ever played Everdell before, you'll hit the ground running, because it's basically the same system. Same priorities, same goals and all of that, but there are some mechanical differences. Firstly, the footprint of this game is even larger than the first, for two main reasons. A, the lighthouse that replaces the Evertree is not placed on the board. It goes above. More space required. And two, one of your meeps will be boat racing the other players around the board. Also outside the board itself. So you'll need room for a slew of sloops. My table barely contained the base game. Also, about that lighthouse, it is less functional than the Evertree. It serves as a divider for the main deck and the discard. Fine. But I stopped putting my workers on it because it just felt like they were going to come tumbling down. Not very roomy. Plus, putting them on the seasons just helps you remember where you are better. But that's just me. Here's a few other differences. The meadow is now the bay, and you'll stack duplicate cards like Pez in a dispenser, instead of having 2 to 4 of them in the lineup. Now there's a handy hack. The occupied tokens have given way to anchors, and if you want those free critters, just place an anchor on a construction of a matching color, and it joins your crew. So I'd go for the pricier one, since, you only have 3. Got to be frugal in this developing ever-economy. The events are now maps, which resembles the claiming of basic events in the original, since it's based on the number of matching colored cards in your town. But these are victory point engines that you should be hoarding like a squirrel's nuts. Each one's VP is multiplied by the number of maps in your hoard. That adds up fast. I recommend prioritizing this particular booty. We also now have windrose tiles that show specific card characteristics. And when you play a card matching one or both, it'll put some wind in your sails and push your ship forward, potentially netting you some valuable plunder. Namely treasure tiles, which are good for victory points at game's end. But you can also use them as all-purpose resources when paying for cards. Now that's some versatile booty. When a season changes, the last player to leave will change out said windrose tokens. And a new chance for forward thrust is revealed. The book suggests that the resources are harder to get in FarShore, but personally I found that my seasons were lasting longer due to having more to work with, including handy cards that help me get my hands on the driftwood, seaweed, sea stones, and mushrooms you need to get things moving. I don't know, maybe I just got lucky, but for the most part, I just felt like I had more options per turn. I also noted even less player interaction than the main game, which I certainly don't mind. Remember those red locations with the open sign that let other people play on them? In this version, they're lost at sea. Bon voyage. Again, zero problem with that. Just felt worth mentioning. In fairness, I've only ever played the Everdell base game before, so I don't know what the expansions brought to the game. But what did feel different felt a little more streamlined. Like maybe if I were introducing a new player, this might help them have a clearer view of exactly what this game wants them to do. And dragging more people into your favorite games is part of the fun, right? However, it is possible that I am somewhat biased toward the theme. You think? I just felt like the turns were shorter because you were just focusing on goals that had to do with how many colors were in your town instead of trying to drag in these other cards with their names. And it looks great on the table. The components are clever. I'm always happy to add sailing ships into my gaming experience. Also, the metal anchors and the new shell point tokens really create a fresh look that brings you into their world. I'm told that this game kicks off the Edge of the Map series of games in the world of Everdell. And being a newcomer to the game, it looks like I arrived just in time to take the ride. And thanks for taking it with me. Now, bring me that fuzzy horizon.